Welcome back to Network Nuts YouTube channel, and this is something new, guys. My name is Alok. So let's hone our skills on Python, and as you can see it right there, this is going to be slightly different video series as we will be focusing more on using Python for system administration. So that's where I am planning to make it slightly different from a normal Python programming language. So the idea of this video series or this playlist is that you should be able to use Python in your system administration, right? Obviously we are going to learn the basic Python skills, the programming syntaxes and the concepts, but the course or the series will revolve around system administration. So this is one of a kind of the course. So let's start with very basic things like installing Python and what are the advantages of using Python. So guys, there are no prerequisites for this particular training. The only thing which is required is keep on watching the video. Okay, let's start. So Python. So if you are a sysadmin, like you have done training and certifications like RSCSA and RSC and you're working, so you might, the chances are that you have already encountered with bash shell scripting and things like that. So you know that how to automate the jobs using bash shell scripts. That's great, wonderful. So now we need to see why Python is a valuable tool, how Python has an edge over bash shell scripting, or you do some scripting in Perl or things like that. So and how can I make my job or my jobs to be done more efficiently? So can I say that Python is better than bash or Ruby or any other things? This is a catchy question, right? So programming is very personal, right? You might be comfortable in Perl and Python. I might be comfortable in Python. So that doesn't make any difference. Any language which you are using, number one thing, that everything is good. You should be comfortable with a particular language. It's something like clothing, right? The formals are good, the casuals are good. It solely depends from person to person in which type of clothing I feel more comfortable with. So we are not arguing here that Python is better, but I will tell you some of the reasons that you should believe, that makes you believe, yes, Python is a very good choice. And currently the scenario is that all the major development and the automation, be it on data centers or on cloud, on Amazon, they are using Python. So Python is an excellent choice to hone your skills and to get better opportunities in your career. So the first reason which I'm going to share you that why Python is that it is easy to learn. It's very easy. So the language, if you catches a language or a language catches you, one of the reasons is that you find it easy. That's great. So you might spend a lot of months or weeks understanding a language, but then you found it, oh, that is fine, but how will I use it for my system admin role? So that's the case. So it is good for sysadmins. So with Python, I can just start writing the scripts very fast. So that we are going to do gradually in this series. And we are coming up with a very interesting thing. I will be sharing that with you. Right. The second reason is that it's less complex. It's very easy. It's readable. Right? So that I'm going to explain you with very simple examples. And just for the sake of history, Python doesn't mean the snake, right? The Python, the big Python here, as normally people think. Python names comes from a British comedy group, Monty Python. Here it is. So what happened is that the founders, the developers of the Python, they are very much there. So they liked that group. So affectionately, they call it Python. and it is free. Again, it is free. So guys, remember thing, Python not a snake, but Python is, the word is coming from British comedy group Monty Python, right? And you can download it freely from the link python.org, and the interpreter is available for Linux, Mac OS and Windows. So we will be focusing on Linux. So there are two methods. Either you can do a Python basic interpreter, and there are multiple like tools available like PyCharm and all the things, not going into those nitty-gritties right now, as it is our first session. I personally recommend using IPython, as it is more interactive, more fun as compared to the normal Python interpreter, right? So the first thing that I'm going to show you here is how to install IPython and start learning it. Okay, so let's move further. So I will be using a Centos7 machine for the job, and will be installing IPython for you, right? So it's an interactive shell known as IPython. So let's install it. This is once you have installed it, but let me show you how you can install it. So let's move further, shift the gears and open my VM. This is my virtual machine which I am going to use. So here it is, guys. So let me move with root, as I will be requiring root rights. Perfect. The first thing that you should check is whether you are able to access the internet or not, which I am. So number one thing I need is I need the EPEL repository. So currently I don't have the EPEL repository. The default on CentOS is that you don't have the EPEL repository, enterprise extra packages for enterprise Linux. So let's download the EPEL repository. I don't have it right here. It's very simple stuff, guys. Google it. Just write Google helping sysadmins saving their jobs for long. So I write here EPEL repo. Okay, here it comes. Very intelligent. Click on the first link. TechMint, they share very good stuff, no doubt. So they will be giving me a URL. That is all I require. That's all. I copy this, open my terminal once again, clear the screen, not mandatory, download it. Perfect. So once I download it, I have the package there, then I can simply install it. Perfect, job done. So that is the first step, that you should be having EPEL repository with you. Confirm it by giving a repo list command. Yeah, EPEL is coming up. Fair enough. Job well done. Perfect. Now, once the EPEL repository is here, extra packages for enterprise Linux, second thing you have to do is that you have to install Python pip. And believe me, guys, installing IPython is much more simpler than installing the Python basic Python interpreter. So just install the Python pip. There is no other way but to accept the keys. Perfect. Now you can give pip install IPython, and it is going to give you an error. So actually I wanted you to see the error or a warning. So instead of using yum, you use pip install IPython. So wait for the error, brace for the error. Here it is. It should give you, yeah. So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to upgrade your pip, right? So current version I am using is 8.1.2. However, the latest is 19.0.3. So need not to worry about it. I just wanted to show you this. Just copy and paste this, guys. Believe me, majority of the times the machine gives you the solution, but we don't read it. We don't give a damn. Upgrade the pip. Perfect. I hope, and I have a very kind of a feeling that majority of you might be using pip for the first time. So it's very good time to learn something new. Now run IPython pip install IPython. So IPython 2.7 will be deprecated on January 1st, 2020. It's far away. No problem. Here it is. Pip is installing IPython. Wonderful tool. Perfect. Here it is. Job well done. So it's so easy to install it. How can I confirm that the IPython is installed? Just write IPython. That's it. You will be prompted with this message. Perfect. So Python 2.7.5 and question mark will give you can get a lot of information about it, quick reference, help. That's great. So this is the prompt, the colored prompt which you get in IPython. Whereas if you have used the Python interpreter, it's so boring, so lame, black and white. So let's bring some colors in the life with Python. Okay, what next? Once it is installed, I'll share the screen the slides once again. Here it is. It's already installed. So this is your simple interaction with Python. Print statement. Using the print statement, I can print anything right back on the screen. So let me try this. So I can write here. So I say print. This is your first interaction with a Python, right? So this is a different Python series, right? Focused on system administrators, sysadmins. Perfect. So it will print you. That's great. So this is how the IPython interact. And one of the beautiful thing about the IPython is that it also accepts your normal Linux shell commands. Let me give a hint about that. So this is what we had done. So IPython shell is quite a bit like your regular bash shell, which is not the default, so easy to do that these things in the normal Python interpreter. So I can simply give command like ls and pwd, it will work. So if I click here, say here, I give a pwd, I give ls-l, it's all working, right? So you can, and even the control L for clearing the screen will work. So things like uname. So not uname, but most of your shell commands will work here. Things like ls, ls-l, pwd. That's great. So I can also make my customized commands or scripts that we'll be learning. But this is how you interact with IPython, which I had already shown you. Now let's execute certain statements here, right? So as I have told you, I am more focusing on the sysadmin part. How can I use Python to make my sysadmin job or roles easier, the repetitive tasks? So if you see there, I'm using an import. Any of you, if you are coming from a C background, you used to give a statement, include stdioh and something like that. So what was that? If you go back into your C language classes, so those were the library files, right? So like features like int, char, those were already built in, and we just need to import that. In the same process, majority of the Python revolve around the libraries. So subprocess is again a library. I'm not going into detail of it. So I can also give import subprocess. That simply means I'm importing the subprocess library, and then from the subprocess library I'm calling a function. The function name is call. And then this command will be executed. So whatever output, it will show me right on the screen that ls-l of my home directory, home, alloc, or any other folder. So let's try doing this very simple stuff. So I give import subprocess. It is imported. Then I give subprocess. And one of the interesting thing about the IPython is the same bash shell. Your double tab will work here. You do a double tab, it will show you all the functions within the subprocess library. That's wonderful. That makes my life much more easier, which is not available in Python, basic Python interpreter. So I give subprocess call, and then I can simply give a round bracket, then a square bracket, and give my command. So let's try this. So I give ls, then I give -l, right? And then I can specify the directory, which directory you wanted the listing for. So anything, say home, alloc, or temp, or it doesn't matter. So I say /temp, close it, run it. See here. So you have just learned how to call a library file and then a function, and how to interact with it. So you might find it, what the heck is this? I am not at all understanding what is subprocess. I know, but just for now, just make things easier. So don't go into details of what is subprocess things. So this is, as I have told you, to import the modules. So the subprocess coding, the library is already being written by the Python programmers. I am just calling that library and then the function. So I am reusing the code, which is amazing thing. So we will be learning more about it, but not right now. So we can also create a small function. Let's create a small admin program, right? Which will, so what I have to do, I can use any of my editors like VI or gedit. Just make sure that the extension should be py, which stands for Python, and you should make it executable to run it, right? So here I'm just using the same command which I had done on the screen on the IPython terminal, right? The prompt, I will just write the same code in a file. And if you see here, if you remember your bash shell scripting days, you used to write here shebang. That tells that in which environment the program should run. So we have to use the Python path, usr bin environment Python, right? So instead of writing the shebang, so I'll just use here. So I just do an exit from here. Let's create a folder here, say mkdir, and I will be writing all the programs for the series in this particular folder. Say sysadmins, anything. Move inside the sysadmins, write say list.py, right? Write your usr bin. So you have to write the Python path, usr bin environment Python. So don't forget this. Import the subprocess library, right? And then call it subprocess.call, and then whichever directory you intended to have it, or say ls-l. So in any directory you place it, it will show you the output of that particular directory. So just write ls-l in this. So just make sure initially you might find it difficult, which is very obvious. Perfect. Save and come out. So we have this program, right? It is the same as I have shown you here. Import subprocess means I'm using the library subprocess and then using a function from that library. So this code is already written. That's the beauty. You need not to write the long code. So the same program might occupy 10-11 lines in C and C in C++. So here I am reasoning you why Python is easy. It takes less number of lines. Then just make it executable, chmod +x list py, job done. So I just write it list.py. It shows me, it tells me the listing. So if I copy it, I'll just show it to you. If I copy the list.py under temp, right, and I move inside temp, here it is list.py, and I just run the script here, it shows me the listing. So it can be a big program. So let's move more into it and try to write certain complex program like, so let's try doing that. So that was your first Python program from a sysadmin perspective, not A plus B equal to C, like the kiddish jobs. So we are slightly mature guys, so let's use our time in learning Python from a sysadmin perspective. I hope you will like the idea. Do share your feedback, please. Okay. So we can also create one more script in Python which will give me a lot of information about my machine. What is your kernel, what is your hard disk and RAM. See here, I have created another program using the subprocess again. Here I am using getting the kernel information. So what I am doing, see here, I am creating a variable uname and executing the command uname, then an argument for the uname arg, then I put -a, then print will obviously give all the information right on the screen, will print all this, and the subprocess call will execute it. So this will execute uname space -a. In the same manner, I can specify df-h. So let's try doing this. It's fun. So I can make it more easier, just reduce it so that you will be able to see it. I hope that will be much more easier. Things like this or like this. Okay, let's do it like this, right? Okay, so here I am. So I create under job, say, give it a name, say what info, sysinfo.py. Obviously you have to write here usr bin environment Python. This you have to remember, and then import the subprocess library. So you now knows that if I have to interact with or learn anything from my machine, get more information about the machine, I might be using the subprocess, right? So I created a variable uname, and the command will be executed is uname, then uname args. You can use any variable name, need not to use the variable which I am using. Then print will obviously show that message on the screen. So I'm just giving this print, sorry, I'll write it here, say gathering system information using %s will replace it. The only way of learning Python is doing it, believe me. Uname, right? Sorry. And then call the process, subprocess.call, and call it, sorry, straight brackets, uname comma uname underscore arguments. That's it. This is what I had done. See here, same stuff, right? Oh, my spelling is wrong, so it would have thrown me an error. So let me change this, uname. So take care of spellings. Now in the same manner, I'll just use a hard disk information. So I say df, right? I can put any variables. Here I use disk space, so let's use that, so that will be, you will find it easier. Just make sure the spellings, the disk space, and I say df, and I say disk space, I say -h is human readable. All of you who are coming from Linux background knows, wow, that makes sense, it's easy. And those who are not coming from Linux background, please join our trainings. Wow. Gathering hard disk information using, so if you do it couple of times, believe me, you will be champion. And then call it subprocess.call, and then just write df and, sorry, not df, disk space comma disk space underscore arg. Here I should have used argument, I've skipped that again, no problem, it's better to, that's all. So this is how you have just matured yourself as a, not seasoned, but yes, starting with combining the Python skills with your sysadmin skills. So let's save and come out from here. And I'll just make it full screen. I'll just do a cat of sysinfo. This is it. This is what I have written. Just go through it again. Imported a library subprocess, created a variable uname. The command which it will run is uname. Uname arguments will write -a. So actually the magic is done by subprocess call, which is actually going to execute the command. Got it? You might have to use 20-30 lines more than that for the same thing done in C. In the same manner, I have done this. Just make it executable. Sorry, sysinfo, job done. So if I run it and if everything is working fine, I should be getting the information. Wow, great. That's magic. That's wonderful. So you are interacting or getting the system information using the Python. That is what we intend to do, not the normal Python programming. Mature guys. So that's it. Wonderful. Let's move further. So this is what I have done. Same stuff. You might have used a syntax like this also, df-h shell true. Right? Try doing it instead of that. It's again a hack. And this I had already told you that you can use the tab feature in IPython to get all the functions which are available in this library subprocess. So just stop it here for the first lecture. Install Python and IPython especially. Try running this small programs, and I request you, if you can write a program which will also give you information like how much RAM is free, and I also want to see the information about my I wanted to know that how many CPUs I am using. So if you can create that program and share it in the comments that yes, I have done it, that will be great. I will be waiting for that. And so I'll go back to it. That's it. So question mark will also come here. Yeah, this is again a wonderful thing. Though I had already told you, let me share this once again. So if I go to IPython once again, and if I do subprocess and I press double tab, it won't work. Why? Any idea? Yes, you need to import the library first. Import subprocess. So that's why it's not working. Now if you give subprocess library and do a tab, it will show you all the functions available, and then you can put a question mark also to see how it will work. So it tells you this is how you say call and then the command. So that the taking help is again one of the things that you should be learning from day one, right? And we are coming up with a very new thing, and I wanted you to use that feature. Let me share a very interesting thing with you. Open up your browser, and if you go to patreon.com/networknuts, go here. So what we are coming up with a very interesting thing and very kind of a noble idea which will save you a lot of cost. Not coming up, no problem. I'll just do a Google here and go to Patreon. So here it is. Click on patreon.com, and if you can search there also, or you can just write here network nuts. So we are now live on Patreon, and what we intend to do is that I want to you to be connected with me on a regular basis, and I keeps on posting tips and tricks and hacks and new things, but these things will be exclusive. And yes, we will be charging a very small amount just for the maintenance. So what you have to do, and the charges that you will see here is rock bottom. No one can give you these kinds of trainings, tips and tricks, videos, complete trainings at this cost. So if you click on become a patron here and hold your breath, yes, only $2 a month. You can get complete AWS Solutions Architect Associate videos for $2 a month. You can get a complete RSCSA and RSC training only for $2 a month. And the best part is that I will keep on posting new videos in this particular location on Patreon, which will not be available on YouTube. In the same manner, DevOps and Python, you can learn throughout your life just paying $2 a month. That is only for the maintenance charges and like the kind of effort we put in. The idea is to share much with you, but yes, obviously we need to make sure that the things are rolling and the money is required. But I hope you will appreciate that the price, so if you can, is rock bottom. Feel free to subscribe the complete RSCSA and RSC videos for $2 a month, right? And the benefit, the advantages which we have here, which is not available on YouTube, is that this will also be containing the interview questions, tips and tricks, regular updates. So I intend to add 2 or 3 videos every month, which will be available only on our page on the Patreon, which will not be available on YouTube. Please guys, subscribe us, support us, and we'll be happy to see you at top. Bye bye, take care, God bless, and I'll see you again soon with Python. God bless.